Jimin, Tang, he said as he opened the door of Tang's home office and found Tang looking at the computer screen. Jimin, can we go out tonight? We haven't gone anywhere. Taeyang, can't you see I'm working? And what about Minyang, who is going to take care of her? Jimin, we can take her out. She will also enjoy outside. Taeyang, then what about the house? Who is going to take care of it? Is the house going to be empty? Jimin, there are maids. Taeyang, and do you think we can trust those maids? Jimin, but you used to do them. And of course, they are not going to steal anything from your house. Taeyang, I can't trust them anymore. So stop bothering me. Jimin, yeah. We haven't gone anywhere after young man's birth. But Taeyang, of course, you have to take care of her. How can we go somewhere? And where is she now? Have you left her all alone? Jimin, she's playing. And why don't you think about me also? I am tired of being here all the day. We can take her outside. I will take care of her. Taeyang, stop bothering me and go outside. He said, raising his voice a bit. Jimin, alright, I will just leave. He said as he slammed the door before leaving. It's been 3 years to their marriage and 7 years to their relationship. After Minyang's birth, Taeyang hasn't been taking care of Jimin. He has been avoiding Jimin a lot. His behavior towards Jimin has totally changed. It's already been 1 year since Taeyang is acting like that. And Jimin didn't like it anyhow. He also wanted some attention, but Taeyang never cared about him after Min Young's birth. All the attention was only for her. Of course, Jimin understands that she is his daughter, but still, he should also take care of Jimin. He doesn't even care about Jimin anymore. It totally seemed like he was losing his feelings towards Jimin. Did he all wanted was Min was the only reason to get married to Jimin was Minyang because he wanted a daughter or maybe a child. Maybe that's the reason. But Jimin just couldn't accept it. He just thought Pyang is really stressed out due to the work, but he can't even take it anymore. It's enough. He has been going through this the whole year, but he can't do it anymore. It's getting harder for him. Jimin was an idol and soloist, and Pyong was a biggest mafia. After Minyang's birth, Jimin had to leave being an idol because Pyong wanted him to take care of Minyang the whole time and never leave her alone. He was feeling suffocated now. It was enough. He had been there for 1 year and has not even hung out with anyone, neither with any of his friends. Whenever he asked to go, Tiang would always say that he had to take care of Minyang, and he was totally fed up of all these. After Minyang's birth, Tiang was also losing his place of being a biggest mafia. So Jimin thought maybe he was stressed out because of that, but it wasn't that. And he wanted to let Hyung know how he feels when he doesn't give any attention to him. It was night time when Hyung came out of his office and directly went towards Min Young's room. Jimin was feeding her while he was playing with Jimin's hand, looking at it carefully. Hyung opened the door as he entered inside. Hyung, Minyang, my baby, what are you doing? Minyang looked towards her father as she smiled. Hyung sat down and held her hands. Hyung, are you enjoying the food? He said slowly as he kissed her hairs. Minyang couldn't speak, yet she was too young to speak, but she could understand what Hyung was saying. She just smiled and looked towards Jimin. Jimin gave her another bite. As she started chewing it, she started to cough slowly. As Theang gave her water, Theang, eat slowly. And you, why aren't you giving small bites to her? Don't you think that was too big? Do you want to kill her? Jimin, enough. You are going too far. She's my daughter too. Don't you dare to say that again. Meaning looked towards her parents in confusion as Jimin started feeding her again in total silence. Taeyang kept playing with her as she finished her food. Taeyang took her to the bed and laid her down, reading storybooks to her. Jimin took all the dishes as he went outside to wash them. After some time, Taeyang came out of Minyang's room and sat on the dining table. Taeyang, where is the dinner? Jimin, can't you wait? You asked maids to not come. How do you think that I am able to complete this soon? Taeyang, just do it fast. You know I have work. Jimin, yeah, you have a lots of work, he said as he finished cooking for themselves and went towards the dining table. He kept the food and served Thea. After the dinner, Jimin washed the dishes and went upstairs. He found Thea sitting on the bed and scrolling through his phone. He wanted to clear everything. He didn't want it to feel like that without knowing what was going on Theang's mind. Jimin, Thang, we need to talk. Thang, what do you mean? Jimin, I mean you aren't the person who I used to know. You changed a lot after Minyang's birth. I hope it is because of your stress and all, isn't it? Thang, of course. Well, Jimin, I mean, you aren't paying any attention to me. You don't care about me anymore. What is it all going on? Thang, wasn't all my care for you for 7 years enough? Jimin, 6 years. The last whole year wasn't the same as the 6 years. You changed a lot in just 1 year. Yeah, what do you mean? I am the same, Jimin. No, you aren't. You aren't same at all. You changed just after Minion's birth. You are just too careless about me. You don't even pay attention to me anymore. You don't care what I want to do. Whenever I ask you to do something, you always give me excuses and ask me to be with Minion the whole time. I also need some freedom. Can't you just let me go out? I already told I won't leave Minion anywhere. Of course, I am going to take her with me. But still, you don't let me go anywhere. Taeyang, because I don't want to risk her life. What if something happens when you are out? If someone does anything to her, then you know how dangerous my mafia world is, isn't it? Why do you want to go outside all the time? Jimin, we have enough security, and I have enough guards to go behind me. Then why would you think anything to happen to her? I am also with her. Why would anything happen to her? Taeyang, anything had happened. You don't know about anything. Do you want her to die? Do you want to take my happiness back and make me a empty person again without any happiness? Jimin, was I not your happiness too? Why don't you care about me anymore? All you care about is minions. Why? Taeyang, because she's my daughter. Jimin, and I'm your husband. Did you forget that? Taeyang, how can I forget that? Jimin, don't you love Minion more than me? Aren't you paying more attention to her? Taeyang, of course I am. Why? She's my daughter after all. Jimin, that doesn't mean you are not going to take care of me and pay some attention to me. Taeyang, because I don't love you anymore. He said as tears rolled down Jimin's eyes, which he was holding from along. The thing he feared the most was true when he didn't wanted it to be true. Jimin, you were drunk. I said I don't love you anymore. Then what are you going to do? Jimin, oh really? You should have said that earlier. I'm leaving. It's better to leave because I can't be here anymore. It's suffocating me a lot. Tiang, then leave. Who is going to say to you leave? Here, just go ahead and leave wherever you want to. Don't ever come back. He said in anger as he lied on the bed and covered himself. Jimmy, alright, I will leave. Don't follow me anymore, he said as he went outside the room. The other day, when Theung woke up, he found no one beside him, which wasn't usual. Usually, Jimmy used to wake him up and ask him to do his morning routine because he had work. But right now, nobody called him. Neither Jimin was sleeping beside him. He got up and went towards the washroom, but it was empty. Jimin wasn't there. He went downstairs and then looked around, calling Jimin's name, but no one responded. He ran to Minyang's room thinking Jimin might be there, but she was also sleeping alone. Minyang's room was just beside Jimin and Thiang's because she was yet so young to sleep alone. But sometimes she falls asleep in her room and they let her sleep there. He went towards the room but found no one. Minyang was still sleeping. He went outside and went to their shared room and checked the cupboard. Some of Jimin's clothes were missing from there. He ran downstairs and called his guards. Tang, where is Jimin? Guard. Oh, he left last night. He said that we shouldn't stop him and we shouldn't follow him anywhere and went all alone. Tang, what? And you let him go? God, he said he got divorced from you, so we thought he might be saying the truth. He even had his suitcase with him, so we thought it was really the truth. Damn, wow, you just think whatever you want to, isn't it? Find him. God, why would you want to find him? You shouldn't do it. You were the one who said he should leave, isn't it? Damn, you're talking back to me? God, no, I'm not talking back, but I'm just telling the truth. That day you were the one who said that. Damn, fine, don't do that. I don't care. Let him die wherever he goes, because it's really dangerous outside. He said and headed upstairs, doing his morning routine, and then later went to wake Minyang. He helped her to do the morning routines and fed her, which was really very much difficult. She was messing with the food, and the food was all over her face. Tiang, why is it so hot? He said as he fed her and later went to his home office and started working. Miriam was also there, sitting on the couch and playing with a doll in her hand. And later she threw it and started crying. Taeyang got up from the chair and went towards her. Taeyang, what happened? Why are you crying, baby? Miriam kept crying without saying anything. Taeyang brought the doll and gave it to her, but she didn't take it. Taeyang, do you want any other toy? Let's go get it. He said as he got up and went towards her room, which was filled with toys. She held another toy and started playing with it as she stopped crying. Tiang sighed and brought her back to the office. Tiang, it's so hard to take care of her. He said as he continued the work, and Miriam kept doing it over and over. She kept crying whenever she was done with playing any of the doll or toy. After she was done with any toy, she would start crying. And Fiang had to take her to the room and get another toy. At last, he decided to take all the toys to his office, and he did that. But still, Minyang started crying after some time. So he started to walk around holding her in his hands. With Jimmy, he went to the company where he worked as a soloist, although he had resigned, but he wanted to do it again. He wanted to live his life again. The manager was really nice, and even the CEO was nice. They really loved Jimin because he was one of the best soloists. It would take time for him to become a soloist again, so they offered him to become a model and then start with his soloist career again. Jimin agreed to it as he got a apartment to live from the company. He was glad that he had somewhere to live other than his house. He was living normally. Being a model was one of his dreams. He was excited. The shoot was after 1 week, but he felt too much excited to be. He was going to do a ad shooting first. The week passed as he practiced a lot to be calm and not get nervous because it's been 1 year since he had been in front of camera. He heard the knock on his door as he went towards the door. He found his manager waiting outside, who asked him to come out and go to the studio. They both left in the car and went to the studio. The stylist gave Jimin the clothes he was going to wear. He looked stunning in the outfit, and the stylist helped him to wear the makeup and style his hairs. Sometimes later, he was done. He went outside for the solo pics first. After some time, when he was done with his solo pics, two girls entered the stage as they joined Jimin. After some time, some more girls also joined, covering Jimin around. Later, the girls left as some other models started taking the pics with Jimin. The male models were being too much close to Jimin, but Jimin kept acting cool because that was normal for a model. Later, after all the solo and group shoot, the time of ending the shoot came. They wrapped up everything and Jimin went to change his clothes. Manager, so how was it? Did you like it? Jimin, yeah, it was nice. It was a good experience. I didn't knew it was going to be this nice. Manager, you have done it first time, that's why. Don't worry, you are going to get more and more efforts because you were really cool today. You are amazing, Pak Jimin. He said as he tapped on Jimin's shoulder playfully. Jimin and the manager were really close to each other. They were like good friends. Later, the manager left Jimin to his house. Jimin was excited to see his first magazine and advertisement. On the other hand, with Tang, Minyoung might not be able to speak, but she was missing Jimin a lot. She sometimes tried to speak, but she couldn't, so she just always called Mama. She was always calling Oma whenever Tang tried to feed her. It was hard for Theon to take care of her, but he didn't let his attitude and ego. Neither he tried to think of Jimin, although he couldn't stop thinking. After about a week, the magazines were finally out. Jimin was excited to see. When he saw the first copy, he was really very much happy. The photos came out really well, and no doubt he was looking stunning. His fans were happy for his comeback as a model, and many wanted to see him back in the solar storm. They wanted their idol to do comeback as his idol form. Jimin was happy that he was able to roam around freely and doesn't have to ask Thiang to go anywhere and be at home, even after requesting Thiang a lot. Although there were many fans of him who used to come in between, but sometimes he could just go out with wearing mask and hat and being a normal person without getting recognized by anyone. He loved being outside. He felt free, but he did really miss Young a lot. Of course, he was so in love with Young. How could he not miss him? But he didn't want to go back there again. Young's behavior towards him wasn't good. And the fact that he said he doesn't love Jimin even hurted Jimin even more than he could even imagine. Taeyang was sitting in his office when Min Young started crying. He went towards her as he tried to console her. He thought of opening the TV and letting her see it, and so he did. He opened the TV and started cartoon for Min Young. She was seeing it when Taeyang went back and started working again. While she was seeing the TV, she spoke. Her voice wasn't clear, but Taeyang understood what she was saying. Min Young, oh, Oma, Oma. Taeyang looked up at Min Young and then towards the TV. It was Jimin. Taeyang, Jimin? He looked shocked to see his ad on the TV. Taeyang, yeah, what are those girls and boys doing in that place? And that boy, why is he so close to him? How dare he? He said to himself. After seeing the ad, he went out and asked for the magazine from his guards, only to find even more pictures of Jimin and other models with him, which made him jealous until he remembered what all he said that night. Priyanka, did I say that all? Yeah, was I drunk without even drinking? How could I forget I said all those to him? Is that why he left me? I guess I was being too much over. I should have paid attention to him too. How could I be this stupid? It's true, no one can take care of Minyang like him. It's really difficult to take care of her. She is difficult to handle. I was too harsh on him. I wasn't supposed to be like that. I guess I got too much focused on Minyang. I need to get him back. I have to get the car ready. He yelled to the guards as they ran outside and Tian went to his office, holding Minyang to his arms and taking her towards her room. He dressed her into a nice dress and went to his room, taking a coat, and then left Tian. Take us to Clement's company. The driver nodded as he started driving. They drove off to the company. After about 15 minutes, they arrived as the driver got off and opened the door for Tian. Yang went outside, taking Menyang in his hands. He went inside the company, asking to meet the CEO. The receptionist immediately asked to clear the CEO's appointment and postponed it to later. Everyone knew Taeyang, so they were scared of him. Taeyang smiled as he went towards the CEO's office. When he saw the CEO coming outside, Mr. Tang, oh, you should have just called me. Why bother to come here? Taeyang, where is Jimmy? Mr. Tang, he's living in an apartment given by the company. Taeyang, and where is the apartment? Mr. Kang, I will ask his manager to guide you there. Taeyang, alright. And can I know what all those girls were doing so close to Jimmy? Mr. Kang, that was just a shoot. Taeyang, did you forget about last time? Or should I remind you again? Mr. Kang, no, we didn't. We will be careful from now on. Sorry to bother you. Taeyang had done this earlier too when Jimin did at with another girl who was being too close to Jimin. The Mr. Kang's sales dropped a lot until he asked a lot of sorry and begged to Taeyang. Taeyang had always hated if anybody gets close to Jimin, especially those famous models. He just never felt good about them. He went outside the company as Jimin's manager followed him. The driver opened the car for Taeyang as Taeyang sat inside. Jimin's manager also got to the passenger seat near driver. He guided him towards Jimin's apartment, which wasn't too far from the company. It took about 3 minutes to get there. Taeyang got off the car as he followed the manager to Jimin's apartment. The manager knocked on the door as Jimin asked who it was. The manager replied. Jimin thought it was his manager, so he opened the door, only to find Taeyang. Taeyang smiled as he saw Jimin. Jimin, what are you doing here? Taeyang, well, you left the house, so I had to come in. Jimin, and if you are here to take me back, then I'm not going. He said as he was about to close the door, but Taeyang stopped. Taeyang, come on. I am holding Minya. At least have some mercy right now. But if you didn't, my one hand is enough. Jimin opened the door as he stared at Taeyang. Jimin, why do you want to take me back again? You only said that I should leave, isn't it? Taeyang looked towards the manager who was still standing there looking at them. He glared at them as he bowed, mouthing sorry to Taeyang and left from there. Jimin, and what's the problem if he stands here? Why would you just scare him like that? Taeyang, because we don't want anyone to hear our conversation. Minyang was extending her hands towards Jimin as Jimin noticed her. He smiled and took her into his hands. Then, finally, she's really very hard to take care of. I wonder how you do it, Jimin. And why do you care about me now? Just go ahead and leave from here. She was hard to take care of. I will take care of her. So you can leave. Oh, sorry. How can I forget? Your daughter is very much important to you. Take her too. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I was rude. I'm really sorry. Please forgive me. I promise I won't do that again. I will never ignore you or work because of Minion. Please forgive me. Jimin, I don't want to. 1 year, the whole freaking year was enough for me. I can't do it anymore. He said as he was about to close the door again. But Thiang entered inside before Jimin could close the door. Thiang locked the door as he hugged Jimin while Minyang was still in his hands. Jimin, yeah, Minyang is there. Thiang, then leave her. He said as he took her and let her play around the house. She started playing around the house, roaming here and there, while Taeyang hugged Jimin, but Jimin kept pushing. Taeyang, I'm really sorry, I won't do it again. I promise. Jimin, then why did you do that if you were going to regret? Taeyang, I was crazy. Just forgive me, please. I will pay attention to you too. Jimin, you only said you never loved me. You only said you lost love for me, then why? Taeyang, I never did that. I was just crazy. Really, please forgive me. I had gone out of mind. I'm really sorry. I have come to my sense. Just forgive me once. Jimmy, I'm not going to. He said as he finally pushed Taeyang and went towards Minyang when Taeyang held his hand. Taeyang, you know, I never got my parents' love, isn't it? Taeyang said as Jimin stopped in his way without trying to escape again. Taeyang, so I just wanted to give Minyang all the love I can. I didn't wanted her to feel the way I did until you came into my life. My life was always a hell. You know that, don't you? And I guess I was just getting too much overreacted that I forgot that I had a husband and a company to take care of. I'm really sorry. I won't do that again. I will focus on you and company equally from now on. Please, just forgive me just once. Jimin knew about Taeyang's past, which was truly horrible and enough to turn a soft and nice person to a cruel and heartless person, which Taeyang was for the world, but a amazing person towards Jimin since they got into relationship. Jimin, alright, I will forgive you only this time. But if you repeated it, then I'm not going to go. And yet, remember that you are still not forgiven totally. He said as he took away his hands and started working the head. But Tian hugged him from behind. Tian, thank you so much. He said as he kissed on Jimin's neck. Jimin, leave me. Tian, let's go to our house. It needs you. It's empty without you. Jimin, no, I'm not going to go there. You are going to cage me again and I won't be able to have fun again. Yeah, I won't. You can continue to become an idol. But yeah, not a model. Those girls and those boys are being too much clingy to you. And I don't want that. Jimin chuckled as he turned around. Jimin, so you got jealous, isn't it? Isn't it why you are here? Yeah, yes. Jealousy made me realize it. I'm really sorry. I was too rude. Jimin, alright. But you promised you will let me go out. Yeah. I will take you anywhere you want. Every single where. Jimin, alright. Let's go to home then. I missed you too much. He said as he hugged Taeyang. Taeyang, I missed you even more. He said picking up Jimin as Jimin wrapped his legs around Taeyang's waist. Taeyang, what about we have another baby? Jimin, nah, I'm not going to take care of another person again. Not anymore. Minyang is already enough. Taeyang smiled. Jimin, but you know, we can plan that later. But not now. Taeyang smiled. Taeyang, why later? Let's do it. Jimin, nah, no way. Taeyang, then let's replace it with a kiss. Jimin, that would do. He smiled as he placed his lips over Taeyang's, kissing him softly. The kiss was soft and passionate. They were kissing while Minyang was standing near Taeyang's legs, holding her toy in one hand and Tang's leg in another, looking up at her parents innocently. But they were busy in doing their own work.